Okay.
You're not gonna speak?
Moi?
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna call this.
Is that clear enough?
I'm gonna call this meeting of the Yucca Fire Board order of July 17, 2012. According to my clock, we're right on the button at 1800 hours. Okay. All board members are here, counter and president board. Don, you want to lead us in pledge of allegiance? No? Come on.
Back to my third grade part, remember?
Yeah.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thanks, sir. All right, anybody need to hear need a reading of the minutes from last month?
I read them. Make a motion. Second motion.
All right,
Why did you sign in?
No.
done.
Do you want to speak?
You can also.
Sign in too, so we can get this way. All right, down to you, Jimmy. Yep, chief's report.
Alright. In the month of June, we responded to 13 calls. The total manpower used for these calls was 40. Of these calls, 5 were med calls, 4 were motor vehicle accidents. 1 was a brush fire, 2 were public assist, and 1 was what we call others, or it's not in our thing, and it was a B call. 2, the new building is nearly completed. Repairs and adjustments will be ongoing for the next few weeks. Additional work on the fire district properties will be also ongoing. Most of the projects are small and have been approved previously. Number 3, since last month, 2 new applications have been turned in. Nothing new to report on the firefighter 1 and 2 classes. There's been too much going on for us to make any more contacts. Number 4, again this last month, feelers and inquiries by word of mouth has not been published. I've been allowed out for hiring personnel. So far I only have 1 resume that's been turned in. Number 5, moving continues from the closed box storage and from the other building. This will probably be ongoing for the next month. It doesn't get done very quickly. The phone company, Frontier Communications, and the new computer radio systems have some parts that have been back ordered and still aren't in. They're telling us that they may show up here around the 23rd. Until that time, the old system and part of the new system in the building, which is working, is going back and forth. So we're kind of like limited communications right now. 7, the projected use and procedures and tariffs on the Form 1512, which is being upgraded, was started last month and will continue this month. It is not ready to present to the board as of yet, but may possibly be completed by next month. The SUP and the SUG documents are currently under review by committee to coordinate and upgrade. 8, the 50th anniversary was celebrated here last weekend. A modest crowd came out to help us celebrate. Lots of volunteer help kept it going and got us through the process. The building still contains many compromises and changes which were necessary to comply with the changes in the system within the county. It is new and it should be able to handle the next 50-year span. Thank you, all of you who came out and helped bring in the facilities. And that's all I have.
I'd like to make the motion to accept them.
I second it.
Done. Any correspondence? That's come in.
Mostly magazines and bills will take care of it.
No reports other than that?
I think they're all listed down here to be brought up later.
Okay. We get back into old business. Possibility of changing times and dates.
I've talked to the county attorney a bunch of times, and I have, every time I forget to talk with him about changing the dates. Or, excuse me, changing the time. Yes.
Okay. We went into the building phase and building phase 2. I think you already went over that.
I thought Paul was gonna say something.
Yeah, that's really the exterior, not the exterior, it's the dirt work. The dirt work and stuff around the sides, the fence around the back, security fence around the back. The bid for the fence around the back was too expensive.
Yeah, the two that we have so far were like $7,000 difference in price. So we need to have them look to see which one is something is wrong with
Yeah,
it.
it's just too expensive to put a fence around, I think.
Yeah.
And if anybody,
I'm not gonna argue that.
and then the grading and dirt work out in front, removing all that concrete that was parked out there, moving that over and putting that in the, what'd you call it? The dike, the levee out there to keep the pond from overflowing. Move that out there, get a tractor and operator to do that. But, that's it that I can think of.
So we're still on hold. Okay, we're getting new business. All right, Brenda. It's on you right now.
That was fast. Okay. First of all, I want to thank the board for letting me take a few minutes tonight to just say a few things.
Could you just speak up a little bit?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. First of all, I want to introduce myself. My name is Brenda Sherwood. My family has lived, a great deal of my family has lived in Yucca for the last 20 or so years ago. My folks came, and ever since then I've had sisters and brothers and aunts and uncles, and there's a bunch of us. And Steve are the only one of us that are full-time right here now. So we've been here quite a while. And for those of you who don't know, we have a Yucca website. It's called Yucca Meetup website. I'm the one who puts the pictures in and writes the articles, does the advertisements for anybody that wants to, and it's open to anybody in Yucca that wants to get on the website to do advertisements to ever. So, being I'm a picture taker, I wanted to do something special for Jimmy because we've all worked so hard on this fire station. So unbeknownst to everybody, I put, well, first of all, I called the paper and asked them would they come out, and of course this is Yucca, and they're not going to come out. But they did tell me that I could send in pictures or an article or whatever if I wanted to, and so that's what I did. So this is a copy off of the internet that I took because I wasn't able to get a paper. Well, it shows the building, a picture of Jimmy, and I did have the cutest picture of Irene here cutting the hose, but they didn't put it on there. And I'd like to read you, they only just gave us just a very small paragraph on here, which was fine because it was a courtesy, we didn't have to pay for it. And I'm going to read it to you, and it says, the town of Yucca celebrated the 50th anniversary of the fire station Saturday by opening a new fire station, a goal of Fire Chief Jimmy Lee Todd's for about 25 years. Town residents helped raise the money for the station with craft shows, dinners, and other fundraisers. Okay? Well, you know what? I figure myself to be a fairly intelligent woman, and I read that and I thought, you know what? I don't believe that's what I wrote. So I go to my email and dig out my email, and I just want to read you what I wrote. Okay? The town of Yucca celebrated the 50th year anniversary of the fire station by opening a brand new fire station on July 7th. Jimmy Lee Todd, Yucca's fire chief, has been working for about half of those years toward this new station. It's a dream come true for Yucca residents. Yucca is a volunteer fire department, or Yucca as a volunteer fire department has limited resources. Citizens help with craft shows, dinners, and other fundraisers. There's nothing in there saying that we give money to the building fund. I would hate to think that we had to try to build this with dinners and craft shows because we, yeah. Okay, then I went on to write, yeah, as you can see, the little tiny paragraph that's here, I had a heck of a lot more to say, they just didn't put it in there. And I put in here that the station will need more training, better equipment, better safety and service for our volunteers. And I did put in there that the hose was cut by Irene, who is the daughter of our first fire chief. Which,
See, I didn't know.
yeah, yeah, I didn't know that a lot of people
But she's
did
not
know
on the
that.
thing. She's on
Okay, what I want to kind of talk about is the truth, okay? You can either believe what's in this article that's in the newspaper, or you can believe what I wrote to them. That's totally up to you. I know what I wrote, and I know that somebody didn't get their facts straight. Because I know that we never gave money from our craft shows and that to the building department. Even those were not my words, I didn't get the facts right. I wrote something that maybe I shouldn't have written. Who am I to say where the money goes here? I have nothing to do with this fire department. I take pictures. We have fundraising events, I know, for Friends of Yucca, for other things, but who am I to say, if I did write this, who am I? I'm not on any finance committee, so who would take my word for it to begin with? Okay? Okay. Then I want to say, who are you, Don Guthrie, who reads this article, don't know who wrote it, demands the next day that you have receipts of all of these things that we've been having going on.
Well, you know, first thing off, I'm a very large taxpayer in this fire
And I
district.
realize that, and I'm going
You
to
know,
bring that up.
and, you know, I see it here, there's people in this room that's not even lives in the fire district. And the fact is that I'm paying for a fire department. And I'm glad you brought that up and you stipulated you didn't write that. I commend,
Whoa, 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 no, she asked, I'm sorry.
I commend you for that. And I've known you for a long time, Brenda. I've known Steve for a long time. And I believe what you say. And I'm glad you got up here and said that. But the fact is that the people here are paying for a fire department.
Okay, and I'm going to
We're not paying,
bring that up.
let me just finish one more thing. We're not paying for a community center. And it's like everybody thinks that all the firemen and everybody are free. That all this stuff is volunteer. It's not volunteer. Every one of them is being paid. Either call pay, contract labor, cell phones with 4,000 minutes on them. We're paying retirement funds on all these people. So, hey, she asked me my opinion.
That's the reason, but.
And that's what I'm saying.
Okay,
I
well,
know.
what
that's
I
why
wanna
I'm
know
saying
is-
that.
Okay, what I
I'll
want
cut
to
you
know
both
is,
short right now.
you are
I mean,
a
I will.
taxpayer,
Yes.
as long as everybody else in here is a taxpayer.
Well, the thing is, we don't get to come to the board meetings and ask any questions, do we? We don't get any
All you have to
answers.
do is get on the agenda like I did.
Hey, we've tried to, and we never get it published. We never get on the agenda at all.
Do you think it's because people are getting tired of hearing the same old thing?
Well, you know what? I think it's the thing. I think it's the fact that, you know, all these checks they're writing and all that is supposed to be discussed right here in front of the public. We're supposed to know what's going on. We shouldn't have to come in and say, hey, we want this done, we want that done.
You know what?
This should come to the meeting.
Whoa, you guys getting ready to get in an argument.
No, I'm not.
No,
I'm not getting in an
I'm
argument.
stopping both of you. I'm sorry. I'm stopping both of you right now.
Well, I'm not
just
getting
you
in an
or
argument.
two. It's done on this one. Sorry, Brenda.
Okay,
You asked him a direct question. I had to let it go.
That's right.
But I'm not gonna, no. I'm not gonna let you guys sit here and
No,
hash
I'm
this
not
out.
arguing with him because Donna and I, we have known each other for a long time.
That's right, we have.
She worked for my folks. And I've always liked Donna, and I have something else in here to say about that later, if that's all right. But right now I'm talking about truth, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I want to know, who are you, Deborah, to write in the paper? I mean, this is purely your opinion, but who are you
Well, actually,
to
that's
speak
not, but
for the residents of Yucca? Yucca residents want answers, okay? Last night, okay, maybe I missed something and somebody made you the voice of Yucca that I'm not aware of, and if that's true, I'm sorry. If you would have came into the fire station, when you came to the celebration, there was about 150 people that would have gladly gave you their answers right then and there.
I was here.
I know you were, but you didn't come in the building.
Yes, I did.
You didn't sign the book.
I didn't even see a book. I'm sorry. There was people at that front table up there, and then there was a lady handing out Bibles and stuff at the other table over here. I never saw a book to sign in.
Okay.
I never
I'm just
did see a
asking
book.
if you-
No, I took a whole
Okay.
tour and everything. We stayed and we talked with people right here in the other room.
Okay.
I talked to people here
I
in
just
this
wasn't
room.
aware that you were the voice of Yucca.
But
because
again, that would be truth. And honestly, that article there that printed in the paper is for several individuals, not just myself.
But it
okay.
is the voice of Yucca.
I didn't
The
put the
majority.
voice of Yucca.
Well, I guess
I
we're gonna
didn't
have
put
to
the
get-
voice of
We'll
Yucca.
have to get with the newspapers in because they really are.
Well, that's
screwed
just
up.
like
So,
your
okay, we'll move
article,
on from
your
there.
article.
But you know what? I want to tell you.
Mhm.
We can forgive you for that. You know why? Because you haven't been here very long.
6 years.
6 years, okay.
Mhm.
According to some of us, that's just a baby here in Yucca.
Mhm.
And I hate to say it, but I'm going to. I really believe that you're really trying to do good. But what you don't know is, because you are new, what has gone on here in the past. And you don't know that, you don't realize that Guthrie is fighting an old vendetta with this town, and he's using you people.
I have absolutely no concern with that. I've told the board
Okay.
before,
Yeah,
the
well-
questions I've asked the board, I've asked the board directly. I have been walked around, I have been given misinformation. The next month, bring them back the correct information time after time after time.
Okay, I'll tell you the best thing to do. We have some really nice people who have grown up here. And if you want the truth, and that's what we're talking about, Don, is the truth, go to some of those people and talk to them, all right?
Well, Brenda, I don't lie.
And neither do I, neither do I.
That's just the way it
So,
is.
okay, all right, now, I've got some other things here. I've got some other things
No,
here.
Paul, you are a liar.
Whoa,
You are a big
come on,
liar.
guys.
I
Don't
thought
stand
I
there and
had
just
the
grin all over
floor.
your face because you are a liar.
Come on.
Excuse me, I thought I
Speak.
had the floor.
Hang on. As
She's
a board
got the
member,
floor.
I'm gonna say this. If you cannot show decorum in this building, leave the building.
And as a gentleman, I'm gonna say, if you can't talk to a woman right,
How am I
Don't talk
talking
at
not
all.
to a woman right?
No, Don and I
liar.
have an understanding.
I'm not
This is
talking.
getting out of hand, guys.
I
All right, well,
said, Brenda, if I've said something out of the way to you, I'm sorry.
No.
But I don't think I've said one word out of the way to you. And I have not raised my voice to you.
Can I get to something else? Can I get to something else here, please? Okay. I have another letter here that has been circulated. In this letter, we as residents of Yucca have been called as bad as Hitler. We've been called as bad as, in some of our opinions, or some of our not,
So don't wear his mouth, Dad.
Obama. And don't ask me why, we never meet. Compared to Obama, I have no idea why we would be doing that. We've been accused, Also in this letter, it says we're on the tape. Well, I'll be the first one to say I'm on the tape. You know why? I'll take a damn food box every time I can get one. You know? The next thing that's on here, and this is something I didn't know, and I couldn't tell you. I mean, it's not true to me. I've never heard it before, because I know that people have come to our meeting that are not in our fire district to go with what's on. But I understand in this letter it says that people were refused to be able to come to this meeting because they were not in the fire district. To my knowledge, that is not truth, and that's what we're talking about right now is truth. But another thing I didn't know, and I'd be interested to find out who this is because I'd like to get in her party. She comes, sells tickets. I don't know what she does with the money, but she sells tickets. She uses the fire department assets and dinner stuff and puts on parties for her own private clubs. Now, did you know that?
I wasn't invited.
Well, no, I neither. I want to find out who it was. But anyway, this is in a letter that's been being circulated around, and I don't know how many of you have seen it or even know, care about it. But it is what's written here. Okay. I just want to say that everything that has been done in this fire station has been done for the good of Yucca. And I don't mean, Don, I do want to say something to you. You have a beautiful building across the street, and you do pay a lot of taxes. And I can appreciate that. What would we do? What would Yucca do? The fire station is the heart of Yucca. If there is no fire station, there is no Yucca community. Is that what you want?
Well, if you want to get right down to it,
Short and sweet, okay. Okay.
I don't classify Yucca as a fire department. Bottom line.
I said it's the heart of the city.
It's not the heart of the city, no.
That's
The
not
people,
my taxpayers.
the people,
That's
the
not my
people,
taxpayers.
the people is the heart of the city.
Okay, that's...
And the people wouldn't be
Okay, let me ask you this. Let me ask you this, Don. You have a beautiful building over there. If the fire department wasn't here, would you be willing to take part of your building and rent it out to some of the community?
If I ever decided to do something major here, I'd build my own fire department. It's bottom line.
Well, that would be good. You know what?
Yeah.
And you could do that. You know why you can do that?
And I would pull all of my tax property out of the Yucca Fire District.
You know why you can do that? Is because I know, and I've seen you work, you are a good, hard-working man.
Yes.
I think most people could agree with that. Don Guthrie is a good, hard-working man. I mean, I've seen him work all day long, 12 hours a day, out in the heat, and I know that he's a good, hard-working man. He has good working ethics.
Thank you.
He does. And you saved my butt in my house, and thank you.
You're welcome.
But like I said before, everything that is done in this firehouse is done for the people of Yucca. I understand that you pay a lot of taxes.
Well, the problem is, Brenda, is that we're paying for a fire department. That's the problem. If there was money left over, if we had a first-class fire department, then we could pick up the phone and we'd have response time right then. We would have medics right then, paramedics, whatever,
Okay,
with people that is, it is not happening. With people that is qualified and properly trained, I wouldn't have a problem with the rest of them. None. But we should have got the fire department first.
Okay.
That's the thing.
We're already lining up, probably unbeknownst to a lot of the people here, we're already lining up more training. We've already, to my knowledge, signed up a couple more people out to the Buckeye Station. We're doing the best we can with what we have.
The problem is, Brenda, is that we come to the meetings here, absolutely nothing is discussed. Zero. But we're paying all this money out. We're paying all these checks. We're signing all these checks. But there's absolutely no discussion on buying new furniture, who's authorized to buy this furniture, selling trucks that we just got rid of. None of this stuff is done at a meeting, and that's what it's supposed to be for. This meeting was supposed to be to do that.
This is a
And it's not being done that
This
way.
is a volunteer community. Everything that's done here is volunteer. You have
But
a
it's
lot.
still supposed to be done in the public.
You have a lot of assets to give.
Yeah.
You could help us. Shit, I could use you at my house, but you know what? The way things are right now, I have to have you boycotted at my house.
I'm sorry to hear
I
that.
am too.
And I would always do you a perfect job.
And
No matter what the feelings was, this or that or whatever, you would always get a perfect job.
All right, in closing.
And you would get more than you paid for it. I guarantee you that.
Okay, we
In
need
closing,
closing.
I wrote this email to those of those who I thought, first of all, I want to apologize to Jimmy Lee to begin with. I thought we were doing a good thing and it turned into a big rigmarole. I want to apologize to the citizens here if there was any feelings or I misunderstood how anything is spent here because I have no knowledge of it. And the rest of it, I'm sorry if I bursted your bubble. Now, just read this email that I sent around to people, and you can take it for what it's worth. It says, to anybody and everybody that is concerned with the article I wrote to the Daily Miner and sent pictures praising Jimmy for the work that he did on the fire station. I did mention we had dinners and craft shows. Sorry, but I did not write the piece the way it appeared in the paper. I would no way imply all the money raised was by doing craft shows and the like. This is one more thing that gets started by words taken in the wrong way and misconstrued. I wrote it because I want Yucca to be known for the good things we do here and a great community we have. I'm tired of letting one group of people control the temperament of this town and keeping everything up in the air. I think it's time that we started working together. And people who know me well enough know that I want only good here. And why do we have to continue this fight all the time? If it continues, we have done everything we can to appease these people. Give them what they want as far as receipts and everything else. We need to start fighting back. We've been giving everything that we need. A receipt, you want it, you got it. You want a recording, you want it, you got it. Nobody has said anything derogatory about any of you, to my knowledge. Not to me personally. But the thing of it is from now on, as far as I'm concerned, running that website, when I hear something bad, when I hear bad rumors, whatever, you're going to hear 3 times as many good things about Yucca. Because I don't want a place that I live to be a laughing stock of somewhere else. Saying, oh yeah, we know all about Yucca, you know. Well, it isn't the fire department that's a laughing stock. It's the people who are fighting progress. That's all I have to say.
Very good.
All right.
I have something to say. This tape recorder, I don't know when it quit working, but all through this diatribe, I've been tapping it to keep it working. And I saw it was misfiring before Brenda got up here. So there's a second or two missing every now and then, because I know you're going to ask for it. So
Just so you know.
We've only asked for tape one time.
Only one time.
But just in case.
That's
You
it.
can just have it, this one.
You got that one?
Yeah, you can have that one. It's on a little DVD. I'll send you a
All
copy.
right.
Maybe the fire
Brenda, that was
department
very
can do
nice.
tape recording.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, that's coming, believe me.
See, Brenda-
It was worse last month, so it is what it is. All
I
right.
know who it
Put
is.
on the agenda, purchase a new one.
It will be, don't worry.
And make sure you have the receipt for it.
All right.
Irene.
Financial statement?
Yeah.
okay, let me read this thing.
You should work on the road maintenance.
Financial statement, 7/17/2012. Once again, I forgot my glasses. Give me a second.
Don't cry, Paul.
No. Revenues.
You want to borrow mine?
Not in your life. Revenues beginning the year 2012, back then. Our fiscal year just ended, by the way, so we're in a new fiscal year. Expenditure, that was $13,534.64. Expenditures in July, this month, this year, were $9,664.10. Beginning balance for the new year, $13,534.64. Ending balance was $3,870.54. Savings account, revenues were a whopping $159.64. Yeah, they're very generous. Beginning balance, July 2012, $1,342,615.95. Ending balance with that whopping 159 was $1,342,775.59. Both accounts totaled up $1,346,646.13. Make a motion to accept.
Make a motion to accept it.
Second.
Okay. It's a done deal then.
All
Alright.
I'll do it. Solar screens.
Solar screens, yep.
I don't really know why it's on there for,
Shouldn't even be on
well, it's on there because it's a new thing, but we only have 2 bids and I don't have one in on the other one yet. And actually it says screens and this was for either blinds or screens, but the manufacturer of the windows said we can't put screws through them, so we have to put something that sits in there artificially or is attached differently. So they gotta go back and look to see inset, like
But the
Venetian
inset
blinds
is-
type
yeah.
of things is one of them. The other one is some kind of like a sunscreen thing on the outside of the building. But neither one of them has come up with a price or a working solution yet, so that one's kind of needs to be tabled for more information.
Table it and. All right, and the Mr. Radio Dispatch.
Okay, that's different than the rest of the radio stuff that we've already got coming that's already been approved and paid for, but what it is if there happen to be over here and we have a call going, if you have another radio in this building with an antenna, they're too close together and the two will fight each other. So what they came up with is this radio phone, so that if you're over here, you can still use the dispatch radio over there without interference. So it's kind of a radio, but it's also kind of like a phone. And it will trigger the radio over there so they can call and talk to the trucks into the radio system from remotely inside the building. Anyway, I think you guys have some paperwork on it, and that was just a solution that he came up with that would be actually cheaper than another radio and an antenna and still not interfere with the rest of the system.
On the back, I added it up. It's only $465. Is that correct?
Yeah, I didn't look at it. I know I told him to send it to me because I said you guys take a look at it.
Did he say if that's
Now, he
installation?
says some of this may be less because some of it they can use the wiring system that Frontier's got in here. That interconnects the two buildings.
I don't see installation on here. Is that Or is this, he's just gonna bring us the equipment and plug it into the wall?
I don't know, this is what he sent me, I don't know if he doesn't have on here
That's what
installation
we need to
costs.
find out, whether, whether or not it's, if that's what, if it's just a plug-in or,
No, it uses, like I said, some of it is gonna use the same cabling that we already have if there's enough channels on the wiring that they installed.
But he can't do this anyway until we get the new system
It
in.
has to work with the new system, so it has to wait anyway.
so we'll just go ahead and table until they get new system, new phone system.
The new system ought to be working by the next meeting.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Okay, then we're into the water storage update, Buckeye.
Yeah, we got the tank. Okay, the water storage in Buckeye is for that other tanker out in the back, 5,000 gallons, 6,000 gallons, whatever it is out there. We're gonna move that, not the carcass, just the tank. Move the tank out to Buckeye, and then they're gonna build concrete piers. It's no big deal, but we need to approve or disapprove moving that tank out there. The biggest cost of that tank's gonna be lifting it off that truck, putting it on a trailer, hauling that thing out there, lifting it off that, putting it on the concrete piers. And that's gonna require like a sign crane or something, no big deal, but anyway, we need to.
We need to get some bids on them, get it up, we need to get it, yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to, I'd like to make a motion that we go ahead and inquire and all that.
We'll inquire, see if we can get some bids on the green and see, see what it's gonna cost.
Yeah.
Because it needs to be out there.
Well, I've got it all unbolted. I got all the manifolds off it and everything. It just needs to be constructed and moved. That's all.
And it's gotta be repumped once it's out there.
Yeah, that's gonna be pretty easy. If I don't have the parts, and I probably do, most of the parts are on that truck.
That's where I was, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's it. Bring them this to dog speakers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go to them.
Deputy Grant. Step right up.
Is there something wrong with that tanker that's out there now, or is this just to work with it?
No, that'll go along with
Get
it.
more water.
We'll get
That-
more water?
Yeah, you'll get more water. That's gonna go along with that. That way, if something happens out there,
We got a backup.
you got a backup. We have the water system here, but you don't have a water system out there, so that would be your backup. That way, you don't have, we can use that, and then we don't have to keep running back and forth down. At least that buys us a little bit of extra time.
10,000 is better than 5,000.
Yeah, and, did, anyone ever get a list of the,
Excuse me for just a
water
minute.
storage?
Do you want to start talking or what?
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
sorry. And just so you know, oh, there you are, right there, sorry. When I did start coming to the meetings, I've been coming for a year and a half now, and it's just raised several questions, and my concern, as stated several times, was my fire station out there. My concern was not what happens in here. I'm gonna pay the same amount of taxes no matter what happens in Yucca. I work, I'm not retired like a lot of you are. I don't have the time in the community center, but my concern was my area where we have had fires that have had substantial loss, complete loss. That is my concern with the whole thing. It's not community center, it's not that Dawn had a building burned down, it's not like this person there doesn't like that person or this person doesn't like that person. All I want is an actual thing. When I found out how much money the Yucca Fire Department had, because all I'd been told, is it's a poor community, nobody has anything. And I was under the misunderstanding that I had equipment out in my substation at the time, other than the old engine from Havasu. So those were my concerns, and then I thought it was kind of odd that we would be building, you know, a $750,000 or $500,000 building, and 3/4 when it gets done, whatever, phase 2 building, and I didn't have the equipment needed out there for my community. So that was my thing, which you hadn't been attending the meetings. And another thing I have is the issue with the training, because these volunteers go out and they answer those calls. They have not been properly trained. They don't have the proper equipment to do the job, and it's unfair to them to have to respond to this stuff. They should have Fire 1 and Fire 2. How many years have you been on there, Bonnie? Or is that Bonnie? How many years have you been a volunteer?
6 or 7.
And you haven't had Fire 1 or Fire 2?
I'm not a firefighter, I'm an EMT.
You're an EMT, okay. So I know there's several of them that have been on the fire department for years and have never had Fire 1 and Fire 2, and there's been several classes offered.
But there are several that have had firefighter 1 and 2, so you need to remember that.
Yeah, and I've asked for the list of the training, and I've
And
never
these
gotten it.
firefighters
And I know
have
David, I think
those
David said he had it. Wasn't it you that said you had the training
I
and
am
you were the
there.
All right,
trainer?
guys, quick, whoa.
Yeah,
Well,
that's what I
we're getting,
thought.
we're
But I'm not an EMT.
getting, we're getting a little bit out of balance.
Yeah, you're the
Yeah,
EMT.
come on,
But it's
come on,
not
we're
right
getting a
to
little bit
sit
out of
there and
balance
point
on this,
fingers and
so.
ask questions to us volunteers who, that's what we do, that's what we do, that's what we like to do, that's what we want to do. We
Excuse
wouldn't
me,
do it if we
Bonnie?
didn't
All
want
right.
to do it.
Bonnie?
She was
I-
saying
She's
that
got-
you asked me a
no.
question.
No, I did ask
understand
her-
this,
I
but
did
you're
ask her a
supposed to be, this is supposed to speak to the board and not the audience.
Well,
And
she
the
was
audience
speaking
is
to
not
me, sorry.
supposed to get angry and speak back. So please
Well, I
address the
wasn't angry,
board.
I was just asking.
Please address the board, Deborah. Thank you
Okay.
very much.
And I'm sure my 3 minutes are up, right?
I have no idea.
I don't know.
Steve's not watching it. I have no idea.
We're keeping track of.
Your cup
We have one that wants
told
to
I said
speak
it
last.
matched.
Non-Guthrie,
No, you did it
you're
with the
up.
chair, but I said it matched the leak in the roof. Oh, so the lady that's not even in the district was timing you. Oh.
Well, I'd like to know, one, which you're probably not gonna answer me, what board meeting it came up to sell all the equipment and liquidate it all to the salvage yard. My understanding, that should have came up for the board to make this decision, whether it's gonna go to a junkyard, sell it to the public, put it out for bids, whatever, and it has never come up in any meeting.
That was done over a year ago. To my knowledge, I don't know exactly when, but I know it was, and, I, you know,
Well, it
when it
wasn't,
came down, hear me out, when it came down, okay, I can either put it up for bid, and that's fine, or we can sell it for salvage and get the best that we can out of it, and, all right, I may have been wrong, but that was my call. I'll be quite honest with you.
well, it's like that black truck.
Okay,
You know, a year ago, I said, you know, why would you want to spend $1 on a truck that is motor's blowing, this, that, whatever on it? And it was like, oh, well, you can't get nothing out of a truck that isn't running. So here we spent like $800 or so on this truck,
I'm not arguing that
and
with
we
you.
just got through sending it to a crusher.
I'm not
You
arguing.
know, we paid fire department personnel to work on this truck, which, you know,
That
I mean,
was-
whether
okay.
qualified, ain't qualified, whatever, we still paid them to do that.
Okay, I'm not gonna argue that with you, and
So,
I'd like to get,
I
I'll
think-
tell you right now, all right, this last point was my call, okay? So,
Well, let me help you on that last one. That was a legal opinion by the county attorney.
Well, I understand that.
I know you're gonna
But it's
argue with
like-
me, but that, if you ask me a direct question, Don,
I
I
gotta
will
check,
give you a
I
direct
gotta
answer.
check the state statute. How's that? I have not done that yet, but I will,
Well, I.
just so you know.
no, that's no problem, I'm just being honest with you, that was my call,
But
that
it's
was my
silence and
call.
clapping.
It's like,
The idiot.
you know, we come to these meetings and we expect things to be discussed. We don't expect them just to be run through and sign the checks that apparently everything's been discussed previously before it ever come to a meeting. Otherwise, all the board members wouldn't even know what was going on. So,
Are
I
there any
mean,
questions in there? Because I'll answer a question.
well, I just asked it.
Ask me a direct question.
When's this stuff's being discussed that you're paying the checks for?
Okay. Do you
It's
understand?
obviously not being done at the open board.
Did you ask me a
meeting.
question?
I just asked the question.
Then you close your mouth and I'll answer the question.
I'm waiting.
Come
Do
on,
you
be nice,
understand what a
both
board
of you.
meeting is?
Yes, I do. It's
This
right
is a
here.
business meeting. In the business meeting, we pay the bills, we address new issues, and we approve them. And that's it.
I think that's a violation of open meeting law.
I think you didn't go to the class. I think you didn't go to the class, did you?
You know,
Did
it's
you
like
go
you
to
have
the
to put up
class?
a little sign saying that, you know, there's 2 board members in the building, you're not supposed to discuss anything.
Did you go to the
Because it's
class?
not an open board meeting.
Did
No,
you
I did
go
not
to-
go to class. Did you go?
I had, not only had my wife go, there
Okay.
was 3 other members
I
in this room
understand
went. Deborah went, and
I
we're taking
understand
your
that.
time up now. So quit talking through your hat and start talking with intelligence, sir.
Well, you know, it should go before an open board meeting.
Whoa,
Everybody's
guys.
claiming your hands, you know, I mean,
That's
it's
not
kind of
called for.
like, you're just letting them sign a blank check and spend your money free of charge. I mean, that's just the way it is. If you're glad of that,
Don't lose
then
any
I'm
sleep
glad.
over.
I won't. You don't have to
Knock
worry
it off,
about
I don't wanna hear
I
it.
don't want to sleep.
No, no,
You don't have to worry about that.
Do your
All right,
gavel.
yeah.
Wow, but for a board member to say that?
Okay,
Board member to say
Shirley
that.
Wilson.
What's that?
Well, let's not keep yapping. 'Cause-
I think now I should have been first. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Shirley Wilson. My husband Don and I have lived here for 5 years. And prior to the recall request on Paul Ferguson, I really didn't know much about the fire station, or Buckeye Fire Station either, for that matter. So I started asking questions of Chief Todd and Board Member Ferguson. I read and reread the recall request. Before Paul took office, I was told that the Buckeye Station was in terrible shape. The hoses had been taken off the engines. The station building was in despair. The firemen's clothing and equipment were lying all over the floor. So last week, Don and I took a ride to the Buckeye Station. 3 Buckeye volunteers met us. TJ, Richard, and Lori. All 3 said they were proud of the Buckeye Station. They started up the fire truck, and on the very hot day that it was, dressed in full fire gear, and then showed us the inside of the building. And Jimmy Lee shut the...
No, he went to sleep.
It went to sleep. We took pictures, if they'll come on. If not, I do have one there. The building has been cleaned, some repairs done, it's more organized. There's more to be done out there, a whole lot more. But the only thing I see missing right now is volunteers.
We got 3 of them out there.
Actually, there was 3 other people that volunteered, and they have never been contacted.
The one their house burned to the ground, they both volunteered, husband and wife.
Yeah, three people out there have volunteered, turned in their applications in January.
I
They
don't
were
know
lost.
who's in charge of
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
but that's good, that's a good thing.
They've never been.
They've never been contacted. Never been contacted.
It's a good thing that they want to volunteer.
6 months later.
Well, who's in charge of that?
Well,
They were turned in.
if they get to a point where we have a class going to be available, then they would be contacted. Right at the moment, none of them had any particular qualifications to be
Oh, I
out
see,
there.
okay.
Oh,
If they
CDL
want help
licenses.
out there, that's fine, but they don't appear to want to do that. They don't want to help with the cleaning or the keeping the equipment up or that kind of
Hey,
thing.
no one asked them. No one has
I know that,
contacted them.
but I
So you
talked
can't
to
say they're
some-
not willing to do that.
I didn't say they're not going to do that.
Willing is what you said.
Okay, I would like to finish this. Now that this new administration building is finished, they're working on a new phone system, new computer hub system, new filing system, upgrades to the dispatch center with new radios. Also, there's plans to hire full-time paid firefighters 1 and 2. plus EMTs, which will improve the response time. I think it's important to know that our fire chief works well with Paul and the rest of the board. Look what volunteering has gotten us. Our fire chief has held this fire station together for many years. He needs our support and more volunteers. If you want to change something, become a volunteer and change it from the inside. That way, the rumors stop and the hearsay ends. Thank you.
Thank you. We got done and it's come on.
Yeah, there they are. There's the pictures. Yay.
Oh, sorry, Reed's standing up.
It's a nice big building.
It's been there for years. 8.5 years. 8.5 years we've lived there.
It's full of water.
Wow. Where was it?
That's where the other tank's gonna go in that area.
And you guys did fix that one, right?
That one's never been broken.
Yeah, well, well, you guys even had it in the meeting. It was broken, but it was fixed, right? Okay.
That tank's always been full of water.
No, it was full of water. You guys just couldn't pump it out.
What?
You
Where
couldn't
did
get
that
the water
bit
out?
of
No, you
information
guys,
come from?
in fact, it was you, because I asked, I said, you waited till, you didn't know that it was plumbed wrong? It was plumbed wrong. You couldn't
No,
get the
it
water
wasn't
into the
plumbed wrong.
truck.
When it was leaking water, the valve was stuck, and it's, each one of these trucks is slightly different, and they need to have the training on each truck individually so that they can get water out of it. Every one of these trucks now has suction capability, and if it doesn't have a pump on it, they can hook to it and pump the water out of that tank.
And that's
And
why I
I'll
was
apologize.
asking if that
I thought
is
you were talking
fixed.
about the storage tank,
No,
and that storage tank can be gravity or pumped out.
no, that's not what I was talking about.
I think that's the fact of that.
But those three guys, well, excuse me, two guys and Laura, there you go. They work very hard out there, and that truck's got more hose on it, more capabilities now. And now that the other truck is gone,
That's,
you all
yeah,
can
it's
get
a little
another
first
truck.
responder truck.
Yep, absolutely.
Let's run through all of them now.
There's only 17.
Yep.
There, that's.
You gonna set that tank on the ground?
Huh?
You gonna set that other tank on the ground?
No,
Or set it on piers?
we're gonna set it on piers.
You getting permits?
We shall, yes. I
Well,
guarantee
yeah,
it. Not,
but, I mean, you got a
we
lot
have
of-
to. No, we have to.
You got a lot of weight
that's
sitting there. You got a lot of weight sitting there.
Yeah,
And
but
it's
I
gonna
guarantee
be
you, we're
done.
gonna get a permit. It'll all be.
I think we'll have a contractor that can do
Yeah.
the job.
Yeah.
Oh, it's better when you head on do this and.
You're just such a nice person, Mr. Guthrie.
It's bad. It's a bad job.
You're
It
just
is a
such a
bad
nice
job.
person.
All right.
Congratulations
Just
on
knock
your
it off.
niceness.
It's a bad
Do I have a
job.
motion to adjourn?
Yes.
Motion to adjourn.
Okay, well, this gets, sorry, guys.
It's a bad
All right. This meeting of the fire board
So better to match the.
is adjourned, roughly 1854. Before you guys start.
Where was the water when Brenda and John's were? Where was that tanker thing when John and Brenda's were to the right?
They didn't want to drive over there and fill it up. They just threw the water on John and Brenda's fire. They could have gone over there and filled up.
I think we're outsiders.
You think?
What happened to the lady that's only been here 5 years didn't get told she hasn't been here long enough? What happened to the lady Shirley that's only been here 5 years wasn't told she hasn't been here long enough?
And I'd like to know what kind of training little Richie is supposed to have.
It's not that they're done. These people that have smoke over their
Yeah, all those years.
It's like there's three people right there that don't even live in the fire department. I mean, they don't pay no tax on it.
Well, and then Irene popping off with her.
She's been here how long? Really? You've been to 3 meetings?